Feels good to be a Leeds fan right now, doesn't it? Honestly, we are playing fantastic, and hope everyone is feeling good today on this. I've not even looked outside, I'll be honest, but I'm assuming it's grey and miserable. At least the team isn't, eh? At least the team isn't. Hope everyone is good. Yeah, in this video I'm gonna do a bit of tactical analysis, but I'm also just gonna go through and explain certain things. A bit of a 2v1, I don't like to just speak. I like to show something at the same time. Try to get more than one point across and try and give more context to a point. So I'm going to do some tactical analysis in this video about some certain aspects I absolutely loved. There's honestly so much you can do in every game, obviously. But there's just one or two specific things that I really want to point out that I thought really advanced how we play. So let's get into it. The first one's the press. I mean, we know about our press. Our press is interesting because it's not even necessarily the most aggressive press. It's not a full-blooded anywhere on the pitch high press. It's a smart press, in my opinion. It's quite situational, and it's quite selective. But when we do it in certain areas, it's really effective. And in this game against Watford, there were 3 or 4 times in that press where we just absolutely killed them. But the key thing about the press is it links in with everything that's good about us, and it's our shape, it's our decision making off the ball, how we get the ball back. That is something I love about the team, and that's each individual doing their role really well. And I really like it. So it's important to note. So the press is like, look at this, like basically look at the blue, that's the line right now. What we kind of do is, like I said here, this is not aggressive. We're not pressing the deep centre-backs, because if we press the deep centre-backs, that leaves space, right? And as you can see, the 2 midfielders are very man-for-man, and that's a theme in this video. Whoever it is in there, they are very man-for-man. I think the idea was stop the supply to check for Tadze. That is the idea. We didn't do it enough in the last game. We did have Rothwell in there, who's outstanding forward, but isn't a defensive player. When you have defensive-minded players in the team, you can fully accept a man-for-man role out of possession, and that's what we did, and it was really impressive. So we'll get into it. But as you can see here, just watch this. The theme, is it Loza and obviously some of the other guys in there, tight all the time. All the time. So here it is. They've got the ball, as you can see. Joe Perot is not deciding where to go yet. We're not really in a position. So yeah, from this, they decide to go across. Right, that's their point. It's one side or the other, then we react. We go to the right. They go to the right. So what we do now, and this is what I love, it's forcing a team down a certain way. Forcing them. It's angles, right? Making sure they can only play on one side of the pitch. Their only option, and this is what I love, their only or their best option is the option that is the furthest away with the hardest pass. And that's what we do really well in a press. As you can see here, as soon as that ball's gone right from the centre-back, Pollock, Joe Perot's cut that line back. Recognising that now they're in a position where we can press because we're man-for-man all over. Look, Solomon on wide, Burple there, Gruev there, Aronson there, and you can't see just off picture, Tanaka is here. Just on this guy. Man-for-man. Which means you're nullifying their options. You're making them play a risky pass. Or you're putting them under pressure. You're making them make a decision quickly. With no clear option, what do? If everyone's doing their job, it makes it very difficult. So they play the ball into midfield. The striker drops in there. Ampadu tracks him, again, man for man, following him. But the key part is, again, even though they've gone in there, there's no option. Now what I love here, Tanaka is kind of just, he's not tight to his man, but he's playing half and half. What he's doing there is just making sure there's no inside run from the winger who's Chet Fatadze in this situation. Because these are the spaces he kind of picked up in possession last game. So he's just vacating the space to make sure that the only option, again, is the option that is furthest away and hardest to get to. And that is 39. That's kind of the role of Tanaka in this situation. And as you can see, there's Lauser, You've got Aronson ready to press him, and you've got Gruev cutting that pass off. So there's no real option. So he drives with it, he gives it to this guy, passes it back, and that's the next move. Very well done from Leeds. No spaces, no clear position, no areas to exploit. Good. And now, this is where the press comes into it again. They go all the way back to goalkeeper. Watch these four. Same thing again. Pick a side. Now, what they're doing here is that's the space. So you're going to give it to this guy. Down this way, there's not really any space. You got Dan James there. But down this side, if the fullback gets it, there's a bit of space. So again, they go right. And this is a constant theme, by the way. They tend to go right more. And this is about the angles now. Cut off anything down that. Man for man, man for man. About to be man for man. And the second that ball goes right, Leeds know if they've done their job right deeper, that is going straight back to that centre-back. And that is where Aronson and Dan James come into it. That is where the trigger is. Now it's the press. Because they know now he's right-footed. So if you press from the left, he's going to have to go right. You cannot play left. It cuts that off again. And now you can advance because you've got the numbers. You've got 3 or 4 players who can press. Very smart. So from this section, as you can see, we make them go down one side. And once they've gone down a side, the idea is to make them go back into the middle where we trigger the press. Good stuff. And we do that. Back into the middle. Aronson there. There's the press. 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 Dan James behind my head. Cutting him off. He's not an option. There's no angle. It's on his right. Aronson's cutting that line off. He's making him go into danger, into our press. Simple stuff, but he's playing into our press. The spare man, because this guy's not an option, because Aronson's run, is Dan James. And look, whether you win it or not, you're forcing them into mistake. You're making them play under pressure. And if you're good and smart, like we are, you'll win the ball back. And that's exactly what we do. There it is. I think it's Kembe in there. Plays it, no look pass. There's no option. Look, he's got the ball. There's no option. There's 0 on. To be fair to him, there's nothing on. We've got them exactly where we want them. Exactly. Dan James reads it. And then we know what happens. Great finish. And this is the key for me. And I'm doing this, there's themes in it, right? You know, some people might not want to watch the clips, they might just want to listen. You know what I mean? I'm trying to find a way to do what I love doing, which is this. Make it quite simple so it doesn't alienate people. The key point is positional play in the press. You know, how effective you are in positional play. Our idea was to cut off all options to make defenders play back. Then we'd be higher, and then we make them play down a side, get even higher, stay tight to your men, make them play back, press. Now, it's a good theme. It only works if every individual does their job. And there were times where we didn't, and when they got through us, and that's football, that happens. But it was also times where it was deadly, and this is an example of it. Second one. This one, I just want to highlight a player. This is very quick, very basic. I just love this. Sometimes you just got to shout out a player. So we're in a position here, and the way they get out of it this time, Louser drops really deep, and their player just drives with it from the back. He just drives out. Beats us, fair enough. But watch Gruev, and this is what I absolutely love. Look from here, based on the fact that he's man marking his man, by the way, not because he was lazy, he was man marking. Look how deep he is. He is behind everyone. The same man on the ball from here. And I can't show you the clip. I promise you, he is running past everyone. He is in full sprint. Now that's just a little bit of commitment. That is the little things that count. Just every player who's out of position getting back And that comes back to the other point, controlling the game. If you want to control the game, everyone has to be in position. If you're going to go forward and play man for man, there will be spaces where you're beat. How quick can you get back in? It's little things like that are so key. And Gruev was testament to that all game. I just absolutely love how quick, and he full on sprints, by the way. You've got to watch it back. He's gone. So shout out to Gruev. Third one. Now this is about us now. This is not the press. This is Leeds United. And we do this, let me clarify, we do this every single game. And now it's getting better, and now it's getting more effective. We've seen this for 2 years. One of our midfielders going left back, and third pushing up. But we're just doing it so effective now. I don't know what it is. We just do it so well. And the detail is important on the pass. The positioning of the wingers is on the pass. The time of the rotation is important. But Gruev gets the ball, plays it out to Solomon, whose position is perfect, by the way, because he's just beyond the winger. And he's very, very wide. Literally touchline. Now, what I love about this, obviously Gruev's there behind my head. I'm just going to get rid of him. So Gruev passes it. Look at that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 players, extremely wide, all playing in different zones, between the defence and the midfield of them. Between, all attacking. Our midfielders, by the way, are here and here. There is 0 in midfield. Now, this is actually, I think Hertzler uses this at Brighton, that there's actually a lot of managers around the world that have started doing stuff like this in recent times, where in build-up, there is literally no midfield in a central area. They're all really deep or really high. And we're doing that. It's interesting. There's definitely a development there. We always tried to do something similar, but we didn't quite commit. But I think Farkes with Tanaka and Gruev deeper, knowing the outcome, with our quality and how clinical we are, that this will probably end in a goal. Now, what do you do? The ball goes out to Solomon. Ince is tracking back. You've got 4 extra players between the lines as well, between each defender and fullback and centre-back, driving at your back line with space in behind. Now, this is what you do when a team's not playing a low block. The space in behind, how do you exploit it? You go wide, and then every single player, including the fullback, by the way, inverts. Every player then attacks the back line into space. If you're quicker than them, if you know what you're doing, if you're decisive, you will get there. You will do it for them. They won't know what's coming. And we are, and we do. And we do this so much. But it's just such an interesting tactical approach of completely abandoning midfield spaces just to play wide and attack that back line. I love it. It's risky, but the key part of it, once you've done it, get back. If you don't win in this position, if you lose it in this position, then it's on these 5 to drop deep. Or for the midfield then to push up. One of the two. Solomon gets it, like I said, gives it round the side. And what that does, look at the width. Because of the width and how aggressive and quick we are, you've got Firpo out here, who has attracted 2 guys out wide, which leaves a 1v1 in the box for Pirro, which leaves Aronson with all this space to receive. All this space. And then Dan James attacking the back post on the blind side of this defender who has no idea. It's beautiful. It's honestly beautiful. I love it. I love stuff like this. Completely missed the midfield out. The midfielders are so deep. It's against everything Daniel Farkes wants, because there's not really, you are in control, but not in a tempered manner. It's all out, completely all out. But if the outcome is this, and how many goals in from these positions have we scored this season? Endless. With the quality of Firpo, Dan James, Pirro's movement, Narenson on the edge of the box, you played to all their strengths. The final one. Hope you guys enjoyed this. I appreciate some don't, but I just like talking about it. It is what it is. Now, I just love this. So Pollock's got the ball, and right now, and again, this will be in the analysis, by the way. They'll know this. Pollock is right-footed, right? So he's going to favour a pass down this right side. So all you have to do, really, is kind of cut off the left. Because if he's hitting it with his right, naturally, it's going to curl into people as opposed to on the outside. Do you know what I mean? It's going to go like this angle as opposed to this angle. All they've done here, and again, it's outstanding, they've subtly shown him this side. Dan James is saying, oh, yeah, go on, you pass it to the left back, I dare you. Aaronson's saying, yeah, you give it to this guy, I dare you. And Perot's saying, you're not coming in here. They're forcing them out this way. And you'll see why. Ball comes out this way. Now what they've done is this guy has two choices to make. Does he go right? Or does he go back to the defender? See, this is what I love. It looks like the defender is in space, but Dan James says no. And this is similar to the first clip. This is the press. Second he gets that ball and he's about to give it him, this is the trigger. If he goes out here, he knows Solomon again. It's less obvious, but he's ready to pounce, which he does, by the way. And then Guerrero's ready to cover. It's going to be hard to get out of. How do they play? They go back. They go back to the centre-back who dictates the play. We know that's going to happen. We know he's right-footed. So what we do, the second that ball comes back to him, we press from the left, which again cuts out all the left. Ball comes back to him here. Cuts out all this side and makes him play into a dangerous area. Makes him play the more difficult pass. There we go. The second the ball comes back to him, Dan James is on it. Dan James presses him from the left, from his left, which means there's no options out here. Which means man for man, man for man. Where's the angle? It's this guy out here. Solomon reads it, wins the ball back. It's just, it's good. Everyone's on the same wavelength. Everything's class. What can you say? We attack the ball, attack the box now, straight away. A little movement from Perot off the man, which he does so well. Great pass by Solomon. Perot should score. Point being, it's just so tidy. It's so in tune with what the manager's asking for. These players are doing what the manager asks. And that's the key takeout. And then in the final third, and I just want to say, a press is interesting because sometimes presses are not necessarily so structured in who you go to. As long as the angle of the press is right, and as long as everyone else behind the pressers is cutting off the obvious passes, hence the midfielders going man for man, for example, the press can be quite inventive. If you're pressing someone, it's not necessarily you have to press There's a trigger, and everyone has to go. And everyone has to know their men. It could be the left back. It could be the right back. It could be the centre back. As long as you're pressing right. Do you know what I mean? Does that make sense? You don't necessarily always have to press just the centre back. There might be a situation where you think, we're ready, we can press this right back. As long as you cut all the angles off and everyone's on the same wavelength, it'll be successful. And we do it so well every game. Honestly, there's so much things I could have spoke about in this game. So much. And I'm going to do that from now on. What I'm going to do is I'm going to hone in on some individual performances. I've not done it in a while. It does take time. But I'm going to do that. I'm going to look at some individuals. I might even do break down Pirro's or Dan James's performance from this game. Even Gruev or anyone, honestly, because they were all so good. But yeah. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know what you guys think. I'll see you guys in a bit. Bye-bye.